And finally, in 1980s news, as reported by Movie Maker, Halloween Ends director explains the shift in the story's focus. So I think we could do this without major spoilers. But at least John and I have watched the film Halloween Ends. I don't imagine Kat's watched it yet. You don't have to, Kat. You really don't. You can be fine. You're fine.
Hey, I'm gearing myself up to watch, what is it, The Season of the Witch? I'm going to watch that.
Oh, okay.
Before Halloween, I'm going to watch that movie. Yeah.
Well, it's an interesting
The Halloween
and
film,
hilarious.
Season of the Witch? You're ramping yourself up for that?
Yeah.
Really?
I am, because I saw it one time when I was a child and I was traumatized.
Oh, really?
So I'm going to try and work my way through
By
it. Yeah.
Silver Shamrock.
Exactly.
It's like when I condition myself to get used to snakes. I get it.
Exactly.
It'd be great if you just picked up right now, just hands full.
What
of
if I
live
had
snakes.
a snake here?
I wouldn't be surprised.
You would be blown away.
I don't know. You did
could've
that.
married
You
you
pulled
some.
that idol out of nowhere. I guess I'm desensitized now.
It's not even impressed.
So minor spoilers, maybe for the third and what's supposed to be the final installment, at least of this recent requel trilogy. So the final film of the reboot from David Gordon Green has fans divided over the franchise's finale, and so the director is explaining why they made the decision they did for this. I'm avoiding things at the moment, at least. Why they went the direction they did. And again, I don't think we could have to major spoil anything. The biggest criticism was that the biggest criticism that the film received was that the Laurie Strode and Michael Myers characters, the main characters,
The main characters, right?
Played
The
by
ones
Jamie Lee
that
Curtis.
are ending in this film,
played by Jamie Lee Curtis and James Jude Courtney, were not featured really in the film.
I'm so confused by this. Like, I don't know much about it, but they're aren't they supposed to be
pretty
really in it a
sure
lot?
I saw Michael Myers at about 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
I think that's when I first saw his
I wouldn't be surprised.
countenance. I won't even say his face.
So it was geared up, for us at least, right? It was built up, maybe from the marketing people, and maybe not from the director. Maybe they didn't, they're not responsible for that necessarily. But to be the final showdown between these two, ends of this spectrum, good and evil, that had boiled over 44 years. But according to the film's director, Green, who also co-wrote the film with Danny McBride, among others, the actor-comedian, he said, quote, "Honestly, we never once considered making a Laurie and Michael movie."
That's I read that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What?
You consider it? I wonder if people. No, I'm sure.
No.
Certainly, no one wants to see a movie with those two people in it.
Right. To even
For
dismiss
the
the idea.
finality. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's
Consider it and dismiss it. But he says, he goes on to say, the concept that it should be a final showdown type brawl never even crossed our minds. What? This
with
is
the wrong
gross
people driving this
negligence.
boat. Yeah. That's
So
silly.
confused.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to liken this to another career. Like it would be like an attorney showing up in court and saying, "Did you ever consider pleading, not guilty?" That
Never
thought hadn't
crossed my mind.
No.
I'm sure you were guilty.
Is that
Look
an
at you.
option? Don't maybe rule it out as a thing. You got to whatever.
I wanted to branch out in this other guilty direction.
Yeah.
This gets even
What are you, a
crazier.
plumber? Did you ever think of just emptying the drain instead of like unscrewing everything and replacing it? Never crossed my mind. Never thought about it.
No.
Went straight to the most chaotic and stupid solution.
Instead, I started dumping more water in there, bucket after bucket. Welcome to Walmart. I don't know. Instead, get this.
Steal my line.
This is crazy, even crazier. Green said that what they did do was, quote, what no one expected us would do. Make a love story. End quote. So Halloween, John said this, we talked, it doesn't make the show last week, but John had made the point that, in a sense, this is kind of like Season of the Witch because it's more connected to the story because Laurie and Michael are in it, and they're, without giving any spoilers away, obviously they're main part of the story in a sense. But it's more like Season of the Witch because you suddenly get new characters that are more of the focus of the story. And so you get this new character, Corey, who is wrongfully accused of murdering somebody at the very beginning of the film. This is a spoiler for the first 2 minutes of the film or something.
Okay.
3 minutes. But Green said that the premise was to see the development of evil and, quote, what a community that neglects the well-being of their own can unleash on themselves, end quote. So that's kind of an interesting idea, but maybe in the context of Michael Myers?
Yeah, but could I just say, if you want to make that movie, go make that movie.
Yeah.
If you're going to make Halloween Ends, why don't you make it about the characters that have built up these 40 years and pay something off?
Yeah.
So I think the movie was like an an hour 40, an hour 50.
Yeah,
and I
think
feel
that's
like we got like an hour 10 of something and like
Yeah.
a 20-minute
love story.
finale for Halloween Ends. That's
Yeah.
how I felt.
If even, I think you're being generous about the 20-minute.
Maybe.
Seriously. I think I saw a stat there that had less than that, but
Could have been
look,
less. It may have been less. I never considered it.
yeah, we'd have to we'd have to give some stuff away to get more into it. But not ironically, it's like I guess what would be expected. He may really have ended the Halloween the franchise.
He might have ended it.
He may really have killed it.
Halloween ends.
Right. How meta.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
ended it, but not what he thought he was doing.
It opened in the box office. It opened in the box office. No, box office. It opened in theaters. It opened in theaters and on streaming on the same day, and it's been underwhelming. The performance, it generated $41 million at the box office in the U.S.
I was wondering how it was doing.
But it's the drop off that's killing it, right?
Yeah, it dropped off and
Yeah.
it had an 80% drop,
Oh,
and currently holds a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
maybe everyone heard that it's
Well, I'm sure. Exactly.
not
There are people
what-
going, what the?
Yeah,
And it's not even a bad movie. It's just a bad Halloween movie.
yeah.
That's kind of
wow.
how I felt. So it's, yeah,
Yep.
like I was like, am I watching the right movie?
Am I in the right theater?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, hey, that was 1980s news.